From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Well, here we go for another show. Show number 162, the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Yeah.
Who would have thunk it, amigo?
Who would have thunk it, actually? We want to welcome everybody into the Grandpa and Pappy Show, the only show on podcast networks that gives you, our listeners, an opportunity to voice your opinion on different subjects of the day like we have today. On Monday, Pappy, let's just dive right into it.
All right.
On Monday, the Justice Department released a statement saying to beware about potential summer riots going on in Oregon and Minnesota and New York and possibly Chicago. So, it looks like they could have quelled all of this by now, but you got to realize those are Democratic cities, and that's where all the crime rate is going and all the defunding of the police, or what they're calling for.
And besides that, amigo, that's just what they do,
That's just what they do.
That's just
That's great. That's great. Look at it, I guess. So we ask you, our great listeners, what your solution would be to potential summer riots.
And we did here.
And we did here.
We did.
And you guys, as usual, have stepped up and given us your opinion. And your opinion is valuable to us because that's what this show is all about.
By God.
Yes, sir.
It's a two-segment show today as well.
It is. It is.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look at what you said. What is your solution to potential summer riots? Joshua Finland said the solution is insurance coverage. TJ Sanchez said, yep, Walmart opens a full month later, fully stocked in the same neighborhood. Yeah. Insurance coverage, just like Joshua said.
That's a good way of them to get rid of the old and bring in the new.
Bring in the new. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you go out to Walmart in the Lake Worth area, and you drive around in the back about 2 o'clock or so, they're throwing away items.
Really?
They are into the trash. I watched them do it the other day.
Away.
Yeah. They either shelf life has passed or whatever, brand new stuff. Throwing them away.
Damn.
I sat there and watched them the other day.
Let's go dumpster diving today, man.
I'm telling you, I thought about it. I'm not going to lie about it.
I need a new entertainment center for the trailer out in the trailer hood.
I heard that.
Tony Haha says we have an army to protect here in the homeland and abroad. Let's make use of them. It'll probably be up to each state's government to do so if they have the guts to do it. The federal government sure don't.
I'm beginning to think that.
Apparently not, because they're not doing a damn thing about it.
It's true. Rick Freeman said the government can send in the National Guard to put down the riots only if they are requested by the state's governor. And that's correct. Remember last summer, President Trump has the Guard on standby awaiting a request from Oregon and Minnesota's governors. That request never came, and the riots continued.
And I'm beginning to wonder if this doesn't have anything to do with the overall population control that they've been talking about all these years. Michelle Hicks said someone in the government, either statewide or national, has got to get a hold on this. Letting people out of jail who were arrested for burning and looting and not holding them accountable is just not acceptable. It is like giving them a license to go out and do it again without repercussions. I guess it is going to take the law-abiding citizens to take matters into their own hands and to fix it.
And Pappy, I look at that from Michelle, and I get to thinking about that.
Well,
and by George, you remember back in the 40s, 50s, people got out of line? The citizens went and took care of it.
Slap a pop knot on your head.
Or something, yeah.
At least, yeah.
I think it's going to take freedom-loving Americans who love our way of life to stand up and do something about it.
That's the way it was in the olden days.
That's correct.
So I think history's just a cycle. I think it repeats itself. Whether it's biblical, political, whatever. I think it's just a big cycle.
Sure. Darlita Macaulay Holland said to arrest their rear ends. David Watson agreed and said arrest them, throw them in jail, and set the bail very, very high. Lance Forrester seemed to agree with David, but said, I think attacking against your own deserves no bail.
I agree with that.
There you go.
But Kamala will supply it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, her foundation, yeah, that's for sure.
She needs to be on the inside running the labor crew as well. So.
Oh, did you hear she's going down to the border?
Oh, is she?
Yeah, but she's going to El Paso.
Oh,
She's not going down to the southern tip of Texas where all the big problems are.
I'll tell you what, it's no field day in El Paso from what I've heard. So.
I don't know that. I haven't seen much from El Paso.
Maybe they'll keep her ass. They could use some good stand-up comedy down there. So, Robert Wiley said these cities who are yielding to the defund the police movement are now suffering heavily from crime and rioting, which is true. When are these idiots going to understand that the police officers are the only thing standing between us and a free democracy and complete anarchy?
I heard that.
So instead of defunding, they should be increasing funding, and people should start respecting law enforcement personnel again. Don't listen to the mainstream media because you only hear what they want you to hear and what they keep pounding in your head.
And that's so very true.
That's their agenda. I mean,
Yeah.
That's where the word sheeples come from.
Sheeples. I like that. That's a great word.
All you folks out there.
The Judas
Yeah.
sheep, or the Judas goat, I should say.
Yeah.
Frank Edgar told us to put criminals in and keep the criminals in jail and institute the 80s protocols for officer self-defense.
Yeah.
Jim Krause said to use lots of tear gas, rubber bullets, and zip tie cuffs. Tommy Parker asked, who expects that? We do.
I agree with everything but the rubber bullets part. I mean, because they're damn sure not shooting back rubber bullets at you.
No.
So.
Let me ask you, I mean, you used to be in law enforcement. I mean, what is the 80s protocol for officer self-defense? You know what that is?
Exactly what it says.
Yeah.
I mean,
They have
and
the
it's-
authority.
and it's still a right.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you're a civil servant, police officer, whatever. I mean, you still have the right to defend yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody pull a gun on you, you wait, you unload yours.
There you go.
Why take a chance?
I understand.
Brett Barker said if you break the law, I don't care what color you are, you should go to jail. I agree. Kenneth Mobley said shoot to kill, and Sandy Layla Armistead said use tasers, tear gas, and serious jail time.
Sandy, I like your thinking.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
John Rockholt said the sad part is that it is up to the municipalities where this foolishness continues because local officials are doing nothing to stop it. The residents need to grow some backbone and vote out the folks, or I should say the fools, what he said, who have been condoning this lawless behavior. Yeah. It is not happening in our neck of the woods because residents and local officials will not tolerate it. I'm sure. You know that little town around here. They tried to have that protest and stuff, and every resident of that town showed up fully armed and escorted them out of town.
It's a different ball of wax.
And that's just around here. I mean, I'm talking about around here.
Yep. Paula Faye Hicks Butler said the solution is to arrest them, put them in jail, and throw away the key. And I like what our buddy George had to say here. George Schultz says, I'll get in trouble here, but I'm tired of it. Bring it on in with the old school cure. You remember, and a lot of you are old enough to know what the old school cure is. So that
yeah,
doesn't need to be explained.
I won't elaborate on it, but George, you're right.
Yeah. I bet George got a few of those old school
he's got some
cures
stories too.
I bet he does too.
Our buddy James O'Donnell down in Alba, Texas, told us that during the Rodney King riots, the Asian-owned strip mall loaded up and protected their businesses with AKs and handguns.
Yeah.
They were not burned out or looted. Might be a lesson there. John Bossy said to bag 'em and tag 'em. Attaboy, John. Tony Allred said it sounds like a live fire exercise to him.
That bag 'em and tag 'em. That's some of that 80s old school stuff.
Yes,
70s
sir.
and 80s. Crawdaddy Crawford Young said as long as they do it in strategic locations, it should be allowed. But Boss Huggins told us to arrest and fully charge them for the crimes committed. Make each pay for the damage they cause. Paula Faye Hicks Butler agreed with Hoss, saying yes, and they'd better do it quickly.
Yes, sir. Radio Hall of Famer Hoss Huggins.
Big Hoss.
Yeah, Big Hoss. He's got some good opinions down there in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so speaking of Tyler, Texas, I want to say hello to Dr. Gary Boyd, who we made connections with. It's a funny story about Gary.
Yeah.
When I started out in radio in Paris, he was hired as a part-time weekend announcer while he was going to school to become a doctor. And he's a gastroentomologist, enterologist for 35 years and about to retire. We're going to try to get him on the show because he wants to start a podcast of his own,
There you go, Doc.
which features physicians talking about the situation they have to face today with insurance companies and the government.
Wow.
And why many physicians are deciding to retire.
And we wish you much luck on that, Doc.
Absolutely,
I think
absolutely.
that would be a good podcast.
That'd be a good one. Yes, sir. Allison Peavy said, I saw that report from the Justice Department, too, and I must say I was quite surprised since the Biden administration hasn't condemned the riots of all last summer and subsequent ones.
Yeah.
They just seemed fixated on the breach of the Capitol. Nonetheless, I hope their fears are not realized and that the summer can pass in relative ease. Well, there you go.
What a good thought.
Yeah, that would be a good way. Yeah, absolutely.
If we ever have a perfect world come amongst us, that's exactly the way to be.
Well, we got some very colorful responses on that. Your solution to potential summer rioting here in our good old U.S. of A. Thank you all very much for your comments and suggestions.
They always have
Some of them are really good.
The good answers, yeah.
Some of them are really good. I really like that. I surely do.
We appreciate your input on that, too.
Hey, Pappy and I keep telling you about the Burgers for Babies coming up in September. We're going to take a short time out for this to learn more about that, and we'll be back with our second segment of the Grandpa and Pappy Show right after this.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is Grandpa of Grandpa and Pappy, along with our own Special K. And we have an important announcement to tell you about an upcoming event. It's the 11th annual Burgers for Babies. It's a fundraising event benefiting the Children's Miracle Network of Cook's Children's Hospital. And it's going to be held on September the 16th from 4 until 8 o'clock.
And the location is going to be in downtown Fort Worth at the Stockyards at the River Ranch Stockyard.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. And 100% of monies that we raise are funneled right back into the Children's Miracle Network at Cook Children's. So if you want to help us out, be listening, and we'll tell you exactly how to make your contribution to Burgers for Babies on September the 16th here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show. So be listening, and we'll be watching for you. Bye-bye. And we are back, and we hope you take that to heart and help us raise some money for Burgers for Babies and the Cook Children's Hospital and the Children's Miracle Network. What a wonderful, wonderful way to show your support.
And my amigo and Special K and I and Divine want to be out there cutting up, carrying on a little bit. Come on out and join us. You know, it's for such a great cause.
It is, and it's always a lot of fun, a ton of fun, actually. And we invite you to come out and take part in it and do some bidding on the auction items that's going to be up there. So that should be a lot of fun.
That's right.
Pappy, I got a question for you. Not too long ago, well, as a matter of fact, Tuesday, the Office of Financial Affairs in Washington put out a statement that said that at the rate this administration is spending money that the United States could be in default by as early as August.
Hell, I thought we already were.
So, you get to thinking about that, and then somebody come up with a brilliant idea, which wished I could take credit for it, but they sent us a text and asked, well, what would happen if we just suddenly stopped paying our taxes so they couldn't spend their money? Well, I asked you guys, and you came up with some good answers, and some logical ones too, I should say.
They know out there.
They do. I mean, is it feasible? I mean, can we survive without paying taxes? I don't.
What's your opinion of that?
In theory, I think, Pappy, it's a great idea if we could send a message to them to stop this crap. Stop all this pork barrel spending you're spending.
Well, and that's the solution. I mean, stop all the frivolous ass spending, because if we just quit paying taxes, this whole country would go up in dust. You got to have something to run the machine.
That's true, and that's where I'm torn about it. But at the same time, as you will hear, some people said, you got to get the government's attention.
Yeah.
Stop spending all of this wasteful money, this Green New Deal, this crap they're coming up with.
That's right. This
the infrastructure bill, the House Bill 1 that just failed in the Senate was packed full of stuff. And the stimulus, last stimulus bill that was passed, only 9% of $1.9 trillion actually went to the stimulus.
Wow.
I mean, you stop and think about that. That's 91% of that $1.9 trillion was spent on something else. Yeah. Why? That's the question Americans need to ask, and start voting these fools out that just keep doing it over and over and over, thinking that we won't take a notice of it. And yes, we do take notice of it. You guys don't realize we're a lot smarter than you think we are. And come around 2022, you better be watching over your shoulder and pack your boxes, because you're going to be out of there.
Off like a prom dress, by God.
So what would happen if we suddenly stopped paying taxes? Well, let's see what you had to say here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Angela Jones McCone said, I wish we would unite like that. Joshua Fenlon asked us if the Democrats are the only ones spending money. No, they're not.
Nope.
Eric Hudson told Joshua, my thoughts exactly. I've seen plenty of rebel flag wallets with an EBT card inside. Not literally, but you know what I mean.
I bet he has. He sees a lot of open wallets every day.
Yes, he does, Dr. Hudson.
Dr. Hudson, the bartender.
Yes, sir.
Timothy Pettit says, this is a very good thought, but I see trouble with that. And taxes were just temporary to being with, I think. Seems I read that somewhere, but I love the thought, and Joe Cockrell told us that he likes it as well. So.
There you go.
Yep.
Our buddy out in West Texas, Bob Baker, said it's never going to happen. The people that actually pay taxes are afraid of the IRS, and everyone else gets that big fat refund every year that they will not give up.
See, I never understood that. and I've always been under the conviction that our tax structure for FICA should be straight across the board percentages.
Yes.
10% of $20,000 or 10% of $2 billion. It doesn't matter. I think it would even out.
A flat tax.
So, just a flat tax. Raymond Sanchez said, I like the thought, but it never happened. It is true that since changing administrations, they're spending our money like it's going out of style. Yeah, it is. I think the premise of the question was to show them that without us paying our taxes, they wouldn't have a leg to stand on. Something has to be done, though, about the runaway spending habits. If you're going to spend money, stop spending it on the Green New Deal and benefits to illegals. Take care of Americans first. And I like the way you think, Raymond.
I do, too. That's a very profound statement.
Take care of Americans, our veteran problem, and our child problem.
But he's bringing up just what I was telling you about my feelings a while ago, all of this wasteful spending.
Exactly.
You know, somebody's got to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Why keep coming back and forcing this on the American people time after time after time again? It just don't make sense,
And
Pappy.
they only do it because they can.
Yeah, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's fact.
Well, our buddy Eric Hudson came back to say, to be frank, it's not just the Democrats receiving benefits. Plenty of people milk and abuse this system for what they can. In my opinion, I think the constant pointing of fingers at the other team is more of an immediate detriment to our country.
Yep.
We sweep our problems under the rug while we shift blame to the other team for something more atrocious. Rinse, repeat. Nothing will ever be solved in the way of financial problems if we all bicker with each other who we vote for. I've been screaming this for years. They're all stealing from us to divide amongst us.
That's well said, Eric.
It is.
Damn, you scare me sometime,
Oh,
boy.
man, don't he? Just like this next guy.
Yeah, I've always been scared of listening.
Professor Crawford.
Yeah, Eric, by the way, him and his lovely wife, Michaela, and his two beautiful young ones, should be back in town, I
Yes,
think,
they
last
are.
night or today from
They got back night
Florida.
before last.
Oh, did they?
Night before last.
Well, that shows you how
About 11 o'clock.
much I can count on him to keep me in the circle, in the loop. Our buddy Crawford Crawdaddy Young agreed with Eric by saying, yes, as I have said so many times on Facebook, it's nothing more than good cop, bad cop routine. The Republican president is a scapegoat for the Democrats' anguish and vice versa. Emily Pritchett told Eric.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much and have a good day. Okay.
That's right.
See you soon.
He kills me when he does that. He does that so well. You know?
Thank you very much for all of your shit with the bull.
Let me get my composure back here. John Underwood said they would just charge it, write more hot checks,
Print more money.
and send inflation through the roof,
Yeah.
while their brown shirts throw you in an IRS internment camp. Sam Pearl said, if only it were that simple. They already spend trillions that we don't have.
That's right.
That's what you were saying, Pappy.
That's right. Spending money we don't have. Kicking it off with one foot to do it with another. Ingle Richard told us it might work if we could unite and do it all at once. Twyla Richards told Ingle that it would be exactly what we need, millions of us. Shirley Mills said it sounds like a plan, and Brian Emerton said this country would shut down without the little man.
And he's right there.
That's good said.
It's the common, ordinary man that gets up every day and goes to work, pays his taxes, feeds his family, and does the right thing that keeps this country going.
Ain't it so?
That is so true.
By God.
Drac Smith added that I've been advocating that since January. Taxpayers strike to hobble the government. The way things are set up, you can't stop all taxes with most employers, but you can declare maximum dependence and thus eliminate most of your federal contributions. Either that or go 1099 if that's an option with your employer.
Well, there again, Drac, if everybody in America claim optimum dependence, that kind of just sliding the bucket over to a different area, wouldn't it? I mean,
Wouldn't that be great to go, somebody come into the Senate chamber, House and Senate chambers, the Congress, and says, no bills today, boys, we're broke.
that's right. Besides, I got 42 children, man. Where's my check?
Thank you very much.
And to close out segment 2 of today's show, it's beautiful Friday. Hotter than hell outside, by the way.
It was where they're warm. Yes, sir.
Crawford Crawdaddy Young closed it out by saying, I can tell you from personal experience from a family member who joined the Freemans back in the day. The IRS came and confiscated his house and land, which I estimate to be around $1 million in today's market.
Wow.
He went to Vietnam and went airborne when he turned 18, but none of that matters. Trust me, I was living in the house when they put the notice on the door.
Good.
And they used to do that. That's what they pulled on me with my property in Wimberley.
Jeez.
They got about $3.5 million worth of property for about $86,000 worth of back taxes. So
Jumping Jiminy. Well, there you go. Horror stories
that's
abound.
all because I was so scared you could have drove a straight pin up my ass with a 20-pound sledgehammer. So I said, here, take it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Just leave me the hell alone, man. And I hadn't paid taxes since, so bite me.
There you go. We got a couple of viewer comments in this week since our last show that we want to share with you. Benny Kingston said, I'm a relatively new viewer to your show.
Welcome aboard.
I just watched your 100th episode show. Damn, guys, you boys are sure tackling some touchy subjects, but I love your audience responses best of all. I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yes, you do,
Yes,
sir.
sir. This is show number 162.
We appreciate you being on board with us, Benny. And,
We sure do.
Hey, you can check those shows out 24/7 on YouTube, by God.
You sure can.
Yeah, but speaking of the touchy subjects, that's exactly why we set the show up the way we did. Keep our butts out of hot water and let you say what you how you feel about it all,
and no, yeah, I understand.
Well, it's geared
I'm
up
kind
for
of
you
free with
listeners.
my attitudes and opinions sometimes.
I wish I could be that way. Paula Pearson said, I enjoyed your show on 3D printing. I have been contemplating getting myself one, but don't know the first thing about it. It was interesting how he made those pieces for the model trains out of a 3D printer. That was great.
It was.
Yeah, it was. It
It was
pretty awesome,
very
man.
impressive.
I'd love to go see his little train yard up there.
And Paula, if you will get in touch with the Grandpa and Pappy Show, let us know how to get in touch with you.
Yep.
I'll pass that information on to Mike Mackey. He can give you
go.
a call, and you guys can get together. And trust me when I say that if you have a question, this guy can answer it about 3D printing. He is absolutely phenomenal.
He probably didn't know jack squat about it when he started either. So, but you know, I mean, read the directions. That's a good
Read
place
the
to start.
directions.
That's a
I
good
like
place
that.
to start.
Hey, we thank you guys for all of your opinions today. That's what
we
makes
do.
the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yeah, it's your show. All we do is just air it.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Special K works the magic, and we talk, and there you go. It's your opinion, your comments.
That's exactly
What
correct.
makes it all happen.
Hey, if you have an idea, suggestion, or a topic for the Grandpa and Pappy Show that we can pass along to our audience for response on, very simple. You can send it to our email address, which is grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Or
you can simply hit us up on our show website page, which can be found at www.grandpa with the letter N pappy.com. That's grandpaandpappy.com, where you shall see that big red button. Once you click the link to get on there, well, push it and subscribe. We love subscription. We're numbers driven. We're YouTube based, and we've got Instagram there. We've got Twitter,
Instagram, Facebook.
and Facebook. It can take you to, anything and everything about the Grandpa and Pappy Show you can access from our website page.
That's exactly right. Or you can go on our Facebook page and see a lot of these answers that we read on the show before it makes the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, we thank you very much for taking time out of your day today. Pappy and I always enjoy visiting with you and
You guys rock.
hearing your opinions on the various topics. But we want to tell you what we tell you every time. Reach out and grab your kids, give them a big hug, and let them know you love them.
That's a fact, by God. Let them know they're well loved right here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show, too, by God.
They sure are. Until we see you guys next time.
Take care of one another.
Absolutely. Take care of each other. God bless you. God bless America. And we'll see you again.
Happy weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.